Molly. Hi, Kristin. Good to see you again.
Hey, Gwen.
It's so nice to see you after the close of your business. Woohoo!
I know we miss seeing you and talking to
I
you.
miss seeing you guys too. I loved our weekly calls together. Sometimes more than weekly, right?
As needed.
Yes, exactly. So for anyone else watching this, Molly and Kristin recently sold their Amazon FBA businesses, and they were focused in the air filtration space. Very interesting niche products, things like litter box air filters and replacement air filters for other appliances. These two ladies are super smart in finding a little corner of Amazon that didn't have too much competition in it, that had great repeat orders, repeat customers, and just really high quality products. So we had a wonderful time working together, and I wanted to share their experience with other people who might be interested in selling their business. Okay, so a few questions for you ladies. Let's start with just what gave you the idea to start this company?
Well, we had met on a trip to China that was organized by Tim Jordan. I know a lot of people might know him because he's an influencer in the FBA space. And but we learned from him about the power of partnership, and we realized that we had complementary skills to one another. And so after the trip, we just kept in touch, probably about 9 months or a year, until the conversation just kind of turned to, why don't we do this together? And that's kind of what we did.
Nice. I love it. And how did you come up with like this product? Was it just a random thought, or how did you come up with the product that you wanted to sell?
Well, Molly had a successful business already on Amazon, and she had recently sold it also. But I had sort of like a dream and a vision, but I didn't really have a good product. I had more like a few dozen random products. And so after about 9 months, I think, of talking afterwards, I convinced Molly to take a look at my product lines and see if any of them had any potential. And she found this one carbon filter and said, I think this has potential. So we went out and built a brand based on that particular material and just all the different ways it could be used.
Oh, nice. Love it. All right. So think back to when the two of you said, let's explore selling our business. Sometimes people who are thinking about selling their business like face like a big challenge, or something changes in the business, or is that what happened with you guys? Or is this something you always plan to build and then sell?
Yeah, I mean, we planned to build it to sell it. That was the plan from the beginning. So we just set a specific goal, and I think we exceeded it by about 50%. Is that right, Molly? You're the numbers girl.
Mm-hmm.
But we had surpassed our goal, and we started getting interested in other businesses. So that's when we said, okay, I think it's time.
Got it. All right. And how did you go about researching and evaluating marketplaces or other brokerages to sell on?
Well, I laugh so hard when I think about this. We made a massive, extensive list, and we just kind of went down each, we just mass contacted people. We really believed that aggregators were like the controllers of businesses, third-party businesses. So we made a list of aggregators and went after them and said, well, are we big enough, or, would we meet your criteria? And then we also found a list of brokerages, and we just started scheduling interviews. But it wasn't until we really weren't finding what we were looking for. It wasn't until I got an email from you, Gwen, that I contacted Molly, and I was like, there's something different about this person. We need to talk to her. You remember that? And then ultimately, we were talking about this the other day. You just really spoke directly to what we were looking for, and you spoke with a lot of authority. You had a lot of knowledge about the FBA space. And, you worked with us to create something that we wanted that could work for you too. And, you were just so easy to work with because you were just always coming up with solutions and ideas. And of course, we liked the valuation you gave, and especially how you defended that valuation, because I knew at that point that you were going to be able to sell it.
Oh, well, thank you. You had a great business. We had lots of competition for it. So Yeah, it was exciting to get your information and learn about your company when I did. Did you have any concerns about selling when we like first started working together?
I mean, the biggest concern was losing our paycheck, right, Molly?
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
were so sad about that.
Yeah. I guess we were concerned about the privacy of who our suppliers are and stuff like that. Like we didn't want to give away too much.
Mhm.
So when you really helped us realize what's normal and what we have to say, and you have the confidence in knowing that no deal has ever fallen apart that I've ever seen from giving this information. So it really put us at ease. Yeah.
That sharing of supplier step is always a really, we shouldn't call it a step, it's a hurdle. It's a hard one to get over for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand that. Okay, so I counted before this that we had 72 buyers that signed an NDA with us. Did you think your business would attract that much attention when you first put it on the market?
Well, that's a lot. I don't even think I realized there were that many. But we knew it was attractive because we knew we had a US supplier and that it was kind of a hands-free business because we would just have them ship directly to Amazon. And we felt like because of that, those two things, it had an advantage over some other maybe companies that were importing or relying on China to supply them. But that's a lot. I mean, I don't know if I expected that many to inquire. I didn't know there was that many people looking for business like this.
Yep.
Yeah.
I should mention to you too, I got an email this morning from one of the people who made an offer and we didn't decide to go with. He just asked me, hey, did this business ever close? I'm still really interested in it. And I was like, we are closed. Sorry. So I'm going to find him another business.
Yeah.
I wish we had another one to sell him.
I know, we got to start working on it.
That's right.
So more numbers for you. So we signed an LOI 44 days after we launched the business onto the market. How did that timeline feel to you? Did it feel like it went really fast or did it drag on forever?
I definitely think it went really fast. We enjoy our business. And so we were not in like a huge hurry to leave it. We were just, so I think it felt fast, but I think the due diligence period is where we felt like it was a little slower, but you set the expectations well. So we knew we were still within the regular normal way of doing it, but we were just like, okay, we've got a buyer, let's close it. And it just doesn't work that fast.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. All right. So fast forward to closing day. And I know due diligence took a while with that SBA process in there. How did it feel getting that wire and seeing that being deposited into your bank account?
I mean, surreal, right, Mom? I mean, we've come
There
so
were
far.
a few tears. Yeah.
Yeah.
There were many emojis going back and forth between us. Yeah. Yeah.
I know. We feel such freedom though, just now to, just be in a new place in our life and have new security that we maybe didn't have before.
Mhm.
I love that. I love that for both of you.
Yeah. Krista and I were just saying, like, why didn't we do this 20 years ago? Because we're going to invest this money and start a new thing together. And it's going to set us up for the rest of our life,
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Passive income.
Exactly. Help pay for some of those college tuitions, right? You both have
Yes. Yes.
kids in that age. Yep. What was the most helpful thing that I did that made you really trust me in making the right decisions working with you?
I really liked how you were able to smooth out both sides. Like if one side got suspicious about something or was questioning something, you would always go smooth it out. And I love that.
Yeah, that was really important. And something that we had thought in the beginning, well, we'll just go straight to an aggregator, but we could never have kept our emotions out of it and made a buyer feel like we just don't understand how buyers think. So
Or what's normal and customary, that
Yeah.
was really helpful that you could guide us, all the deals you've done and what you've seen, what's normal and what's expected.
Yeah.
Exactly. We were thinking, well, we're just going to only accept a cash offer, and you were like, that's really not normal to get a cash offer. Most have structures like this. And
Mhm.
so we would not have done well selling it by ourselves.
I don't know. You two are pretty capable. I think you would have handled yourselves well. But it was a pleasure working with you. And yes, sometimes my job is to be a mediator, and I like that part of my job too.
Yeah.
Well, and Gwen, you're good at it. If anybody wants to know like why they should work with you, I would just say, that what we loved about you, we were making a list of the things we thought about you. We thought you're extremely professional. You always kept your word. You were always on time, very responsive, very organized, and just proactive and always on top of stuff. Like you were never in the dark about what was going on. You were, very involved, and that helped, because if we got weary or we got busy, you kept pulling us along, and that meant a lot. So thank you. And we just like you. You're a likable person.
Yes, you are.
Thank you.
Super easy to work with.
That's very kind. I appreciate those sentiments very much. I very much enjoyed working with you both as well, and can't wait to see what the next business you build is.
Thanks, Gwen.
All right. Thanks, ladies.
Okay. Thank you.
Hi, JP. Hi, Stacy.
Hi.
Hi.
Thanks so much for joining me again today, and congratulations on closing on Fresh Headquarters.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Excited to talk to you guys again. So I wanted to start off by asking you, was this your first time purchasing a business? And what was the experience like for you overall?
It was the first time that we purchased a business together. It's kind of one of those things where I've been part of an acquisition process and purchased, not personally. So I thought I knew what was going on. And
I have actually purchased another business before, not an online business, but a brick and mortar retail business.
So we thought this was going to be easy peasy, and it was, but only because we had guidance from you.
Awesome. JP, was this a very different experience than buying a brick and mortar business, or like somewhat similar?
It was definitely different. Just going through the process, doing Zoom meetings versus actually going to the business to have meetings with the seller in person. So it definitely was a little bit different, but I actually like this experience better.
Nice. Awesome. And when you first saw the Fresh Headquarters listing, what made you interested in it? Like, what parts of the business were interesting to you?
I think for me, I saw a lot of opportunity. I let JP make sure from a financial perspective that it looked good, but it was really important for me, especially with this being our first business, something that could be improved upon, but that was still pretty steady and reliable, and didn't have to worry about anything crazy.
Yeah. I always tell people that these are like my favorite types of businesses, like the really boring, steady, unsexy businesses. I got the feeling you guys like that as well.
At first, I thought I wanted something amazing and, all of the social and all of the branding. And it's actually been it's eased my anxiety that there's not so many levers that we have to pull, especially, right out of the gate.
Yeah. Awesome. And so after you guys reviewed the information on Fresh Headquarters, then we had a first call with the owners of the business. What was your impression of the business like after that first call? Was it like love at first sight? Were you like, yes, we want this? Or was there still a lot of analysis and I don't know, kind of conversations between the two of you to happen before you really fell in love?
There was a lot of analysis.
Yeah, I'm definitely the numbers guy, and I dove into the numbers to make sure it made sense from that point of view. And knowing that Stacy could work her magic and make some improvements, it just really made sense.
Awesome.
Especially this being, you know, our first business together, and my first business, definitely wanted to make sure that I got, at least for me, that I got over the what are we getting ourselves into moment. And that it was going to be okay. Took some convincing.
Yes, definitely took a little bit of convincing, but it definitely was worth it.
So JP, you're the numbers guy. Stacy, what is your magic that you're applying to this business?
So I'm the marketing person, and luckily I had some experience managing Amazon brands for a different company. But that's very different than managing them on your own. So,
yeah.
So, I mean, the same, but still different because it's your money.
I understand that. Yeah. So after we signed the letter of intent with the sellers and we were like ready to go into due diligence, what was the hardest part of the transaction after that?
For me, I think it was herding the cats, as I like to say, making sure that we were on the same page, that we were thinking through everything that we needed, that we were getting everything that we needed. And similarly, I'm sure the same with them. I honestly do not think that we would have gotten through due diligence without you and your guidance and your help, because there were times when it got a little interesting and you were there to kind of level set everyone, make sure that everything was moving forward, crack the whip if it needed to be, and just, you know, make sure that we were all kind of, you know, working towards the same goal.
Yeah. There's a lot of steps in the process to get through.
Yes.
Yeah.
And thank you for that so much.
You're most welcome. What, were you surprised by any part of the process? I mean, I'm assuming you were a little surprised by how hard it was to kind of wrangle everybody, but any other parts of the process that you were not expecting to have to go through?
I think for me, I think the purchase agreement process going back and forth was a lot more difficult than I thought it should have been. I know we had some issues in there. You definitely helped with the seller to educate. Yes, that's a good word. To get them on board to, you know, kind of what is typical in this sort of transaction, and that we weren't asking for anything that was, you know, crazy in our purchase agreement.
Yeah. Yeah. That letter of intent is so small and nice and neat. And then you get into that asset purchase agreement and it's like, wow, there's so many terms and clauses, and yeah, there's a lot to digest there. Lot to agree to.
Yes.
Especially when, you know, you think, because the letter of intent is so, I guess, simple, and then you start getting into the other parts and like, well, I thought this, because, you know, different things. So it would, yeah, that was interesting.
Yes, and did appreciate your referral on the attorney as well. She was fabulous, and I would tell everybody about her. She was really good as well. So appreciate that referral also.
Oh, great. I'm so glad. She's working on another deal with me right now as well. Yeah.
She was awesome.
Yes, very patient and she was very quick to turn things around for us, which we really appreciated. And she walked us through things that, you know, if we had questions on anything. So
having an M&A attorney who knows e-commerce businesses is key to getting these transactions done in a timely manner. If both sides had one, it probably would have gone a lot faster. Yeah.
We would have been having this conversation a month ago.
Exactly. So now that you've closed, what are you most focused on with the business?
Oh, wow. We've kind of split our duties based
Yes.
on our talents. Do you want to go first?
Yes. So my job is inventory management and accounting. So we have people getting us set up, QuickBooks, to make sure that we get good numbers every month, and really building those relationships with the suppliers as well. We've talked about some improvements to packaging with both of them. And I think that's kind of a down the road sort of thing, but starting to build those relationships with the suppliers. I think it's been really good.
And for me, I have a long list, but the first piece was some of the quick wins with the product listings to make sure that we were staying competitive, and that they were clear and understandable. And then the other piece really has been overhauling the PPC campaigns and making sure that we are profitable even after spending, because that was one of the, I think, biggest opportunities was making sure that we weren't just buying the sales. So
Nice.
that's been fun.
Great. Love it. All right. So what advice would you give to anyone else looking to purchase a business?
Oh, be patient. Take all of the advice that you can from people who have done this before. Make sure that you have somebody like you, or you specifically, to manage the process, because I think you did a really good job on both helping us, even though, we thought we knew what we were doing, and with the sellers. So really just kind of take ego out of things and make sure that you're being really collaborative.
Awesome. JP, you have any advice for anyone?
Do your due diligence. Make sure that you know exactly what you're getting. I've seen many times where people, I'm an SBA lender, so I've seen many times that people don't do their own due diligence and they get caught in the end.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure you know what you're getting.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, you guys. Well, I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Thanks,
All right, have a
Gwen.
good night. Yep. Bye.
Bye.